Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're peeling back the layers on something you probably use every day but maybe haven't thought about deeply. The humble calendar invite.
That's right.
We're looking beyond just that simple static add to calendar link you see everywhere.
Yeah, those things.
Companies, especially the big ones, dealing with huge event rollouts. I mean, think millions of users. They're not just seeing it as a reminder anymore.
No, definitely not. They're actually transforming it into something much more powerful, like a dynamic command center for managing the event, tracking who's coming, and engaging customers in a totally new way.
Right, a command center.
And zooming out for just a second, the strategic impact here is pretty massive. I
Yeah.
mean, the big challenge for anyone running large events, is just cutting through all the noise.
So much noise.
Exactly. Your standard event promotion, like mass email, it's often just failing. Important details get buried almost instantly.
Lost in the inbox void.
Totally. So what the sources we looked at show is this really sophisticated, scalable answer,
Yeah.
the Calendar Invite Server, or CIS.
CIS. Okay.
It basically provides this robust, trackable alternative to just blasting emails. It ensures your event details actually land where the customer manages their time.
Their calendar, the place they actually look.
Precisely, right on their calendar.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission for this deep dive is to really understand the plumbing, the unique architecture that turns a simple calendar file into this high-powered data stream.
Yeah, the nuts and bolts.
We need to drill into how this system gets deployed, specifically using AWS components, and then really get a grip on the specific practical applications. How is this actually used? And we're drawing exclusively from the source material we have on embedding and tracking these invites. So the first thing that really jumped out from the sources, architecturally speaking, was this focus on making it super easy for customers to adopt. Painless, really.
Crucial point.
This isn't about forcing users to download yet another app, right?
Absolutely not. The whole customer experience relies on them using their normal stock off-the-shelf calendar clients.
Like Outlook, Google Calendar.
Apple Calendar, whatever they already have and use every day, they use those tools they already trust to create, update, cancel events.
Which means adoption should be fast, like really fast.
Yeah.
Because there's basically zero friction for the end user.
Exactly, that end user side. Super
so
simple. But the server side, well, that's where all the clever stuff happens, where the complexity is managed.
Okay.
So this calendar invite server, the CIS, it's packaged up, ready to be deployed right into the organizer's own AWS domain, so it's branded for their organization.
Right, so it looks like it's coming from them.
Correct. Now, what's really fascinating here is how the data actually gets in. The sources talk about an assigned email box, like, email@yourdomain.com.
An email address.
Yeah, but it doesn't just sit there receiving messages like a normal inbox. It actively functions as the API endpoint.
Well, then wait, you're saying an email inbox is an API endpoint?
Yeah.
Like for data ingestion. How does that even work? How does the server make sense of just, an email with an event?
Well, it relies on standardized protocols. When you send a calendar invite from any major client, Google, Outlook, whatever, it sends these standardized data files, usually based on the iCalendar format, the ICS file.
Oh.
Yeah.
The ICS file. I've seen those.
Right. So the email is just the delivery truck for this structured data. The CIS endpoint grabs that standardized calendar file, the ICS data, and then it kicks off these crucial ETL functions.
ETL. Okay, let's slow down there for a sec. Extract, transform, load. We hear that acronym all the time. How does that apply specifically here with calendar data?
It's absolutely vital for normalizing the data and making it trackable at scale. So extract just means pulling out the raw event details from that ICS file.
Like the title, time, description.
Exactly. Title, time, description, location, and critically, the unique identifier, the UID that's assigned to that specific event instance.
Got it. UID.
Then transform. This means cleaning that data up, normalizing it into neat, usable database fields, getting it away from the sort of messy structure of the raw ICS file.
Making it consistent.
Precisely. And finally, load. That just means storing that cleaned up, normalized data into the database. And once it's there, it's recallable using the Calendar Invite REST API pipeline.
So you can then use it later for embedding on websites, in emails, in apps.
You got it. Ready for distribution and tracking.
That normalization step seems absolutely key if you're dealing with potentially thousands of events. So for the event organizer, let's say they're running a big internal training series. How do they actually get those events into this system initially?
It's designed for auto onboarding. They literally just send their event details, like a standard calendar invite, from their own calendar client Outlook, Google Cal, to that special API endpoint email
The
address.
one we talked about, like email@yourdomain.com.
Right, they send it there. Then, pretty quickly, usually within about 2 minutes, they get a notification email back.
Okay, what's in that notification?
It confirms the system got the data, processed it, and crucially, it tells them it's generated the necessary calendar invite codes. These are the URLs and embed snippets they need to actually distribute the invite.
The things they'd put on a web page or in an email campaign.
Exactly. Ready to go.
And what if they send, I don't know, hundreds of events?
Yeah.
How does the system keep track? How does it know which event belongs to which organizer, especially when updates start happening?
That's where the notification workflow comes in. That confirmation email sent back to the organizer. It does more than just confirm. It specifically matches the organizer's account name to those unique event UIDs that were created during the ETL process.
Linking the who to the what.
Precisely. And this organizer to UID link is stored securely in the primary database. This matching is fundamental. It's what lets the system recall that specific event data later for reporting, for sending out large-scale campaigns, and importantly, for collecting data continuously throughout the event's life.
Okay, so we've got the plumbing sorted. Standardized data comes in through that email endpoint. It gets cleaned up by ETL, tracked using UIDs, and linked to the organizer. Now let's look at what the organizer can actually do with that data once it's all neat and tidy in the database.
Right, the payoff.
The solution apparently ships with 9 different APIs. And we saw that console app, often deployed by OEMs, right, that uses these APIs to visualize all the collected event status data.
Yeah, that console app is really where the data comes alive for the organizer. It makes it actionable. It's driven primarily by those collection APIs, APIs 2 through 7 specifically, which are designed to pull and display data across potentially thousands of events simultaneously.
Thousands of events. That sounds like it needs some serious back-end power.
It definitely does. And the key to handling that scale, especially when you're tracking responses from potentially millions of customers, is the underlying AWS infrastructure that the sources mention.
Right. We saw mentions of S3, DynamoDB, and the API gateway. Now, for someone listening who gets tech concepts but isn't maybe a deep cloud architect, why are those specific AWS services so essential here?
They each play a critical role in handling the sheer volume and speed required. Think about it. Millions of calendar receipts, these little confirmations could be flooding in. You need something robust.
Okay, so break it down. S3.
S3, simple storage service. That's your massive, highly durable, cost-effective digital filing cabinet. It's perfect for storing the raw, unprocessed receipt data as it arrives. High volume, low cost.
Got it. The filing cabinet. What about the API gateway?
The API gateway acts like the scalable, managed front door. It handles the huge number of incoming requests, all those receipts hitting the system. It can scale up and down automatically, absorbs traffic spikes, provides security. It's the entry point.
The bouncer and receptionist, basically.
Kind of, yeah. And then there's DynamoDB. This is a NoSQL database, and its real strength is incredibly fast querying, even at massive scale.
Fast lookups.
Super fast. It allows the organizer's console app to slice and dice the data, pull up real-time analytics almost instantly, even with thousands of events running and data pouring in.
Okay, so S3 stores the raw stuff, API gateway lets it all in smoothly, and DynamoDB lets you analyze it quickly. Makes sense.
Exactly. That combo handles the scale.
So those display data analytics in the console app, driven by those APIs and powered by AWS. They give the organizer a real-time pulse on how their events are doing. What kind of metrics are we talking about? What do they actually see?
The visualization really focuses on immediate status and sort of event maturity. First, data gets sliced into these high-level navigation buckets, all events, new events, upcoming events, past events, just quick overviews.
Standard dashboard stuff.
Right. But the real value is when you click into the detailed event navigation. There, organizers see the specific event summary, the total number of invites sent for that event, and then the really crucial metric, the total RSVP count.
Yes. Now, broken down clearly.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Maybe. And importantly, it also shows the source of the invitation if that data is available, which is vital for figuring out which campaigns or channels are actually working.
Attribution. Super important. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me because it's not just about passively looking at data. It's about actively distributing these invites in smart ways and measuring that distribution. Let's talk API Tag 1.
The big one.
The embed calendar invite Send API endpoint. This sounds like the engine room. The REST API for calendar invite sending, containing the logic for sending and updating invites.
That's exactly what it is. API Eng-Tag1 is the core engine for programmatic sending and managing updates. It allows you to integrate this calendar functionality seamlessly into other tools and workflows.
Okay, give me some examples. What kind of use cases does this enable?
Well, think about embedding the calendar invite function directly into an RSVP button inside an email campaign tool, like MailChimp. Someone clicks RSVP yes in the email and boom, the API sends the invite.
Okay, smooth.
Or embedding pre-populated invites directly into a complex web page, like a sports team's schedule page. Click the game, get the invite.
Nice.
Or integrating the API into a custom-built GUI picker, maybe for a sales team, letting them select contacts from a list and send personalized calendar invites directly. Lots of possibilities.
And the absolute linchpin, the key differentiator mentioned again and again in the sources, is this data loop. How the system makes sure it gets that RSVP status back. This is where that concept of the calendar receipt really comes into play.
Yes, the receipt. This is fundamental.
Why is getting a receipt so much better than just relying on, say, traditional web clicks for tracking event interest?
Okay, this is probably the core insight, the game changer here. The calendar invite that gets sent out using API Tag 1 isn't just a static file. It's specifically programmed to actively request a calendar receipt back from the customer's own calendar client.
Programmed how?
It uses standard iCalendar protocol features. Basically, invite says, hey, when you action this, yes, no, maybe please send a notification back to this address.
Okay. And why is that better than a click?
Because traditional click tracking relies on the user clicking a link in an email or on a web page. That depends on browser cookies. It can be blocked by ad blockers or privacy settings. It's easily misattributed. It's kind of messy.
Right. Less reliable.
Much less reliable. The receipt is different. It's an automatic response generated by the user's native calendar client based on the iCalendar protocol. When a customer clicks yes, no, or maybe inside their Outlook or Google Calendar, the client itself automatically sends a standardized receipt back.
Where does it send it?
Back to the calendar invite server, specifically hitting that API gateway endpoint we talked about.
Ah, okay. So it's like a verified client-side confirmation of the user's actual intent within their own trusted tool, not just a potentially ambiguous click on a web page.
Precisely. It confirms the user's action within the secure environment of their personal calendar manager. It's not dependent on browser sessions or cookies. That updated status Y, N, or M gets collected by the API gateway, shot into DynamoDB for the real-time analytics, and the raw receipt might get archived in S3.
So you get this high-integrity data.
Yeah.
Much more trustworthy than browser tracking.
Much more. It's a direct signal from the user's calendar.
But hang on a second. If companies are constantly sending invites, tracking receipts, sending updates, isn't this just swapping email clutter for calendar notification clutter?
Yeah.
What's to stop customers just getting annoyed and declining everything or ignoring updates? Doesn't that risk generating a lot of negative data?
That's a really critical point, and it touches on responsible use of the system. Firstly, the system is designed to track those no responses, the negative receipts. That's actually valuable feedback for the organizer. It tells them if a campaign is causing fatigue or isn't resonating.
So no is still useful data.
Absolutely. But crucially, the update mechanism, which we're about to see in the use case, is designed to be highly targeted. Updates typically aren't blasted to everyone who ever received the initial invite.
Ah, okay. How does that work?
Generally, the system is configured to auto-send updates only to users who previously showed interest, those who responded yes or maybe to the original invite. This dramatically minimizes unnecessary noise and respects the intent captured in that first receipt. People who said no are usually left alone.
Okay, let's make this less abstract. Let's bring the whole system to life with that concrete example from the sources, the sporting events vertical. We're looking at that demo site Mandy and Arnie put together for an NFL schedule. I think the link was NFL2025.31events.com.
Right, that demo site. It's a great illustration of both high-volume ingestion and, more importantly, the dynamic updating process.
Okay, so set the scene. Mandy is the organizer running this promotion, maybe?
Yep, Mandy's the organizer. She uses her regular, everyday Google Calendar, and she's loaded it up with, I think it was 272 NFL games for the entire season. A lot of events.
272 games. Wow.
Okay, and the setup. She doesn't need some complex spreadsheet import tool or anything.
That's the beauty of it. She simply forwards all 272 of those individual calendar events from her Google Calendar straight to that API endpoint email we keep mentioning in the demo's case. It was create@calendarsnack.com.
Just forwards them like she'd forward any email. Essentially, yes. That single endpoint acts as the inbound processor. It takes that batch of 272 invites, handles the storage, runs the ETL process for each one, and inserts all 272 cleaned up games into the database, all in one go.
Okay, that's pretty slick for bulk loading. Now, flip side, the customer journey. Let's call him Zach.
Okay, Zach. So Zach visits Mandy's NFL schedule website. He browses the games, finds one he's interested in. Let's say it's that key October 19th matchup.
Big game.
He enters his email address into a little box on the page, clicks one button, maybe it says add to calendar or get invite, and that's it.
What happens then?
The website backend uses API tag 1 to trigger the calendar invite server,
Yeah.
which sends Zach the personalized calendar invite for that specific October 19th game using the data Mandy originally loaded.
Simple for Zach.
Mm.
Now, here comes the part that feels like the real differentiator, the big win for Mandy, the organizer, the update process. Things change, right?
Yeah.
Game times shift, maybe there's a broadcast update, or like in the source material, Mandy wants to add a promotion.
Exactly. Let's say Mandy needs to edit that October 19th event. Maybe she wants to add a juicy promotional offer into the event description, like show this invite at the gate for a free NFL jersey or something.
Okay, a reason for people to pay attention to the update.
Right. Now, how does she update the potentially thousands of invites already sent out for that game? Does she have to log into some complex back-end system?
I'm guessing.
No. Definitely not. This is the key workflow simplification. Mandy stays right inside her Google Calendar. She finds her original event for the October 19th game, edits the description to add the NFL jersey offer, saves the change in Google Calendar.
Just like editing any normal calendar event.
Exactly. Then she simply resends or forwards that updated event back to the same inbound processor address, create@calendarsnack.com.
Okay, wait. If she forwarded 272 original events, and now she forwards an update for just one game, how does the system know, this isn't a new event, this is an update to that October 19th game I already have?
The UID, the unique identifier. Remember that UID assigned during the initial ETL?
Right. It's attached to the event.
When Mandy resends the updated event from her Google Calendar, that same original UID is still associated with it. The calendar invite server's inbound processor recognizes this existing UID. It says, okay, I know this event. This is an update request.
Smart. So it doesn't create a duplicate entry.
Correct. It changes the new description with the jersey offer, and then here's the crucial part. It auto-sends a formal calendar invite update notification.
To everyone who got the first invite.
No, and this is key for avoiding annoyance. It sends the update only to those customers, like Zach, who had previously responded yes or maybe to the original invite for that specific game.
The targeted update we talked about. People who said no or never responded are left alone.
Exactly. It respects their prior indication, or lack thereof, and significantly reduces notification fatigue. Only the interested parties get the update.
That is genuinely powerful because it ensures the important new information the jersey offer lands directly on the customer's calendar, the tool they use to manage their time. It's not buried in email.
Precisely. It pops up right where they manage their schedule.
Okay, so what does this all mean then? Let's close the loop.
Right, the final tracking loop. Zach receives that update 1 calendar invite in his inbox or as a notification from his calendar client. It clearly shows the new information about the NFL jersey offer.
He sees the offer, likes it.
He clicks yes in his calendar client to accept the updated event. That action, clicking yes on the update, triggers his calendar client to send back an updated calendar invite receipt.
Back to the API gateway again.
Yep. The system collects that updated receipt, processes the yes status, and updates the data in Mandy's console app in real time. She sees Zach, or rather an aggregated count, has accepted the update.
Wow. Okay, so that neatly wraps up the entire flow from the organizer's perspective. Creating the event in their normal calendar, the system ingesting it, distributing it via API, handling targeted updates seamlessly, and getting verifiable tracking data back via receipts.
That's the whole cycle. Data creation, updating, and continuous reliable tracking of that RSVP data, all pivoting around the calendar itself. Hashtag tac outro.
When you lay it all out like that, it really does fundamentally shift how you think about the calendar invite. It stops being this static, kind of dead-end reminder.
Yeah, fire and forget thing.
And it becomes this dynamic, trackable, updatable tool for engagement. It's not just, the modern-day refrigerator magnet for your schedule anymore.
Yeah, I like that. The refrigerator magnet.
It's like a smart magnet,
Yeah.
one that tells the organizer when someone actually looks at it, or more importantly, when they commit to it by saying yes.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, the primary goal here, as the sources emphasize, is really twofold. First, securing that verified spot on the customer's personal calendar, getting on the schedule.
Prime real estate.
Exactly. And second, tracking those calendar invite responses using this high-integrity receipt mechanism. The argument being made is that this is just fundamentally superior to traditional email for event engagement.
Because it guarantees placement and measures actual intent, not just a potentially meaningless click.
Right. Which naturally leads to a pretty interesting question, doesn't it?
It definitely does. Thinking about the sheer depth of data being collected here. You've got the yes, no, maybe status, you potentially know the source of the invite, and you have reliable verification of updates via these receipts. How might this kind of method change the way businesses measure engagement for events beyond the obvious ones like webinars and sports?
Yeah, think about high-stakes internal training programs or maybe complex, phased product launches. Things where knowing who has actually seen and accepted the latest update is critical.
What really are the implications of collecting verifiable receipts, proof of interaction within the calendar, instead of just relying on potentially flaky click-through rates from email? What happens when potentially every calendar on Earth becomes a programmable, trackable endpoint for communication and engagement?
A lot to think about there.
Definitely something for you, the listener, to mull over until our next deep dive.